INFJs are often described as rare, mysterious, and deeply intuitive. But with that mystique comes a wave of misconceptions. People assume they know the INFJ based on surface behavior, but what lies underneath is far more complex. Today, we're breaking down 10 things people get totally wrong about INFJs. And if you're an INFJ, you've probably heard at least a few of these before. 1. INFJs are shy and weak. One of the biggest misconceptions about INFJs is that their quietness means shyness or weakness. In truth, many INFJs are simply observers. They take time to process what's going on around them before they speak. When they do speak, it's intentional and meaningful. They may be soft-spoken, but they are far from weak, emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. They carry an inner strength that often surprises people when it finally emerges. 2. They're always nice no matter what. INFJs are known for their warmth and compassion, which can lead people to think they'll always be agreeable or passive. But when someone crosses their moral boundaries or violates their trust, INFJs don't hesitate to cut them off, sometimes without warning. Their kindness should never be mistaken for naivety. They'll give chances, yes, but once that inner line is crossed, they're gone. And they rarely look back. 3. You can read them easily. Many people think they understand INFJs because they often present themselves as open and caring. But that's only one layer. INFJs reveal just enough to make others comfortable while keeping their deeper feelings guarded. What others see is often a carefully curated version of themselves. Their truest thoughts are rarely shared unless deep trust is built. INFJs are emotional vaults, and most people don't even realize it. 4. They're too serious all the time. Because INFJs tend to speak about deeper topics and enjoy meaningful conversations, people often assume they're overly serious or intense. But INFJs have a very playful, quirky side that comes out with those they trust. They can be hilarious, sarcastic, even downright weird. In the best way. Their humor is often dry or subtle, but it's there. It just doesn't show up in surface-level small talk. 5. They're overly emotional and sensitive. INFJs are emotionally deep, yes. But that doesn't mean they're ruled by their emotions. They often process things internally and reflect deeply before reacting. People may assume they're fragile or overly sensitive, but INFJs are actually quite emotionally resilient. They feel everything, but they don't show everything. Their emotional sensitivity is often used to understand and support others, not to create drama. 6. They always want to fix people. It's true that INFJs have a strong desire to help others grow, but that doesn't mean they walk around trying to fix everyone. They're deeply empathetic and will invest in people who show potential, but they don't waste time on those who refuse to help themselves. INFJs can let go, and when they do, it's usually because they've realized they're being drained instead of making a difference. 7. They hate all conflict. Another myth, that INFJs will do anything to avoid conflict. The truth is, they avoid unnecessary conflict. But if someone crosses a line or threatens someone they care about, an INFJ can become incredibly assertive, even fierce. They may not raise their voice, but they'll make their point crystal clear. Their calm nature during conflict is often mistaken for passivity, when in reality, they're standing firm in their values. 8. They're just outgoing introverts. People often call INFJs extroverted introverts because they can be social, empathetic, and good listeners. But that doesn't mean they like being around people all the time. Their social energy is used intentionally and depletes quickly. They need deep, uninterrupted solitude to recharge. Socializing is something they do, not something they need to thrive. Just because they're good with people doesn't mean they want to be around them constantly. 9. They think they're smarter or better than others. Because INFJs are reflective, private, and often independent in thought, they can sometimes be misread as aloof or arrogant. But in truth, most INFJs are incredibly humble, often to a fault. They second-guess themselves constantly and are their own harshest critics. They don't think they're better than others, they just think differently. And because they don't always explain their thought process out loud, others assume they're being superior when they're actually being cautious. 10, they're easy to manipulate because they're empathetic. Empathy is a strength, not a weakness. People sometimes try to take advantage of INFJs, thinking their compassion means they'll tolerate anything. But INFJs are highly intuitive and can see manipulation from a mile away. They may not always confront it directly, but once they've figured someone out, they quietly distance themselves. They're not easily fooled, they're just often quiet about what they know. INFJs are often misunderstood because they rarely explain what's going on beneath the surface. Their world is made up of subtlety, intuition, and emotional depth that doesn't translate well into casual conversation. But if you take the time to truly understand them, you'll find a rare kind of wisdom and authenticity that's worth protecting. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. What's the biggest misconception you've faced as an INFJ? We'd love to hear your story.